very difficult when you're a young band. You've got a lot of things on your mind. You want to book gigs, build a fan base, and at some point you're going to want to get some tracks recorded. Now you could save up your hard-earned money, arrange a time when everyone's free and go into a studio. But for the kind of budget that you're likely to have as a young band, the studios that you're going to go into, they're probably just going to stick a single microphone in front of you, you record through once, and you'll get a product at the end that is, it's not going to be your best work. If you're lucky, it'll be passable. Most of the time, though, probably won't be even worth the money that it cost you to get there, let alone that you paid to the studio. So what other options have you got? Home recording is a very affordable and easy approach, if you do it smart. There are lots of expensive options for home recording. There are lots of difficult and technical options, but what I'm going to show you is how to do it easily, with no prior experience. I'll walk you through everything, and how to do it on a budget. And more importantly, how to get the best sound from those first two options, so you actually get something that is cheaper and sounds better than you'd get in a studio. So first off, we need to think about how you're actually going to do this recording. You could put the whole band together in a room, get them all to play at once, but you're going to have very little control over your sound, because realistically you're going to need to either have lots and lots of mics and a mixing desk that can blend all those mics together, or you're going to have one mic in the middle of the room and you're going to have to just hope for the best. Also, if someone makes a mistake, you're going to have to re-record that track all the way through and have to keep doing that. So always round, you can do it that way, it feels more natural, but you're probably going to end up wasting a lot of time and you might not get a very good sound. The approach that I'm going to explain is a multi-layered approach. So that's recording everything separately. Drums, then bass, then instruments, and then vocals. Yeah, I know bass and drums are instruments, but just bear with me on that. So, yes, this will take more time. And yes, it will feel less natural. But firstly, it's a good skill to be able to do, to be able to know your own instrument and your own part very, very well, but also it gives you the most control over your sound. This is not going to be a video on how to make something that sounds like it's come from a professional recording studio. This is something which will be rough and ready, but will sound good for what it is. Let's talk equipment. You don't have to have really flash equipment. In fact, the stuff that I've been using for a few years now is very, very basic. When I bought it, it cost me somewhere in the region of about £100, £120 altogether. Yes, that's a lot of money in itself, but if you think about the fact that you can record as many records as you like with this, it's pretty good, really. So, what are you going to need? A laptop, firstly, or a desktop, but you probably have a laptop. Now, this one may predate the Holy Roman Empire, but it still does a very good job. Also, because it's so old, I don't mind taking it somewhere else, recording elsewhere. I'm not worried about it getting damaged. Into the laptop goes a cable. You're going to need a patch cable like this. 1/4" jacks and a connector to go into the microphone socket. That's 3.5mm. A couple of quid at best. Into that we have our preamplifier. So this connects then onto the laptop. In the output there, going into the laptop. This has got a valve in it, which gives it a real sort of vintage sound. It's made by Behringer. It's very, very nice. It gives you a lot of control. I'll be showing you some of the functions later. This didn't cost me very much. You can get them online now, second hand, for 20, 30 quid. Next up, XLR cable. This is to connect the microphone into the preamp. Now the preamp's providing power for the microphone, so you need an XLR cable, like this. 3 pins in each end. Why is the preamp providing power to the microphone? Because the microphone I'm recommending is this. It's a condenser microphone. This is a Behringer, again, not sponsored, although if you do want to, Behringer. But yeah, Behringer stuff, it's cheap, it's reliable. It's a condenser microphone, which means that it's powered and it's much more sensitive than the ones that you'd normally sort of sing into, which lose range very quickly. And of course, you need something to stick it on, so we've got a mic stand as well. But altogether, mic stand, microphone, cables, etc. comes to about 100–120 quid. Very, very affordable. I'd also recommend a pop filter. This is very handy when you're singing. You stick it over the microphone and it'll improve the sound quality. But that's barely anything. All that equipment is going to do the job for all of the instruments. If you do have a dynamic microphone, the type that you sing into normally like that, that could be useful as well. It's like a second microphone, give you a few extra options. But for now, I'm sticking with the single microphone to show what you can achieve with just that. Like all these things, preparation is key. So, before you even start recording, you need to be well practiced. Singers, you need to know your lyrics. You can have them with you, but you need to know your lyrics. You need to have all your instruments ready. You also need to have an idea of what it is you're trying to achieve with this. How many tracks are you trying to record? What sort of sound are you going to be going for? Thinking about all of this in advance, even just getting some ideas down, will help you save time in the long run. You've thought about how to do your record, you've read up on how to do some recording. It's now time to make some guide tracks. So we're now ready to start producing the click track. We're now ready to produce a guide track. Now this is going to consist of two elements. One, a click track, which we're going to go into in Audacity. So, Audacity, we go to Generate, Click Track. It'll ask you various things, including what tempo you want to set it at, how many beats per measure, how many measures. And what I'm going to do, I reckon I want a really long click track, so I'm going to go for 320 measures, much longer than I would need for my track. Tempo's 76. Now I worked out my tempo when I play is normally 80 beats per minute. I've slowed it down by 4 beats per minute because, pro tip, you tend to play a bit faster than sounds absolutely best in my personal experience. So I'd always just knock 4 beats per minute off. So let's generate that click track. While that's generating, let's take a look at the preamp. This preamp down here, it's upside down because my cables are too short. But we've got here 48 volt switch. Turn that on, and that is now providing power to the microphone. So I'm going to turn the gain up. Power is now going to the microphone, and the microphone will now be picking up. Now in Audacity, if we go back and have a look at it, up in this top corner we've got the microphone and we've got the speaker volume. So you want to make sure that your microphone volume is up. You need to make sure as well that the microphone is going through into your computer. We're now ready to make the guide track. Now the guide track is going to be playing through headphones into my ears as I'm recording the other layers. So this is going to be guiding me in terms of what I'm going to be doing in each stage of the recording, because I'm not going to be playing it with the rest of my band. So I've created the click track on Audacity. You can find out loads and loads of tutorials on how to use Audacity, so I'm not going to go into that, but I've made a click track. I've also got my preamp on, and if we zoom in you can see The 48 volt power is currently on. That's providing power to the microphone. The gain and the output are turned up, and as you can see when I clap, that's the microphone picking up the sound. So we're now ready to start making some guide tracks. This is just going to be me on an acoustic guitar playing so that I can play along to it with the other instruments. So having made the click track, this is only a very short one, but I've added on that bit of guide track as well. I'm going to keep both the click track and I'm going to keep the guide track and record everything else on top of it. And this way I've still got it even at the end in case something goes wrong. Now it'd be a good idea when you've made the whole guide track, give it to everyone in the band so they can practice to it, particularly the drummer. So there we go. First video on how to get started with at-home recording. Next time we're going to be looking at recording drums, which will be the first instrument to go down on our home recording. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.